Good evening. It's time once again for my shot, where we take little snippets from the Bible and we try to make sense of them in everyday life. And I know one of the biggest questions I run into, or one of the biggest statements I run into, when I'm witnessing to the lost, and those who are without Jesus Christ, trust me, are truly lost. They are condemned. They are condemned by God, and their eventuality will be not heaven but hell. But they will tell me that they are not religious, but that they are highly spiritual. So I thought I would get a look at what spirituality really means this evening. This comes from Webster's dictionary. It says, spirituality is the quality or state of being concerned with religion or religious matters, or the quality of being spiritual. So we have religion on one hand and spiritual on the other hand. So what does spiritual mean? If I say I'm just spiritual, it is relating or affecting the human spirit or soul as opposed to the material or physical things. To not be interested in the world as we see it, but to be interested in the other world. Spiritual values might be considered the non-material, the incorporeal, the intangible, the inner or mental state of a person, psychological, transcendent, ethereal, otherworldly, mystic, mystical, metaphysical, etc. And the big one is not concerned with material values or pursuits. And I can't think of anyone in America that truly falls into the category of not concerned with material values or pursuits. So even if they are, quote, as they say, spiritual, their spirituality is lacking. And once again, under spiritual, we have of or relating to religion or to religious beliefs. Now let me say, if you consider yourself spiritual, that means, let's say, you're trying to tell me that you believe in another world, that once we leave this world in the flesh, that there is another world that we go to, in essence, a spiritual essence that is non-physical. But the moment you begin to define that physical evidence, that physical essence, as having some particularity, you are moving to a state of religion. Take, for example, those who believe in reincarnation. You are moving toward Hinduism or Buddhism in some form or another. If you believe that everyone that dies goes to heaven, you are moving towards universalism, which believes that everyone dies, goes to heaven. If you believe that only those who are good go to heaven and those who are bad go to hell, well, then you set yourself up as a judge as to what is good and bad in God's eyes. And the Bible tells us that it is by grace we are saved, and not by works. It is a gift of God, lest any man should boast that they have done good enough works. You see, a lot of people in America take part in what I call American folklore Christianity. They get most of their spiritual guidance from television shows. They get it from movies like Angels and Demons, from the Da Vinci Code. They get it from other movies or other TV shows like The Supernatural, or TV shows like The Outcast or Ghost Whisperer. And all of those, you have to understand, are fictitious accounts of man's sense of spirituality. It is very difficult to be a Lone Ranger spiritist. One would have to be a mystic. One would have to have special revelation of their own. So if you're out there calling yourself spiritual but not religious, let me just tell you that I very rarely tell the truth, but I find you very interesting. Thank you very much.